Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everybody around the world. Welcome back to another One Piece video featuring Yamato. Get ready for a very spicy deck profile featuring OP-10 here on the channel, let alone the leader, which is definitely one of my favorites to play in the current game, and it seems the one that you guys wanted to see the most that was voted in. Now, with that being said, this list is particularly going to be an 09 deck list of Yamato, correct? For what it's worth, Yamato has been super aggressive in the majority of the deck lists that you guys have seen throughout the time that she's been relevant, right? Now going into 010, we have access to a whole bunch of new cards, so the deck list does change drastically, I would say, in which we go from playing so many different variations of Yamato, so many different ones, to something that's a little bit different, which I like to think is very fun. So yeah, a lot of your stuff, your trigger related abilities, like I decided to keep Onami's, but things like Hikinojo's, Nekomamushi, and all that sort of thing, they kind of phased out of my deck list, at least for the build I'm currently running, which is this one here. Now don't get me wrong, we are in OP-10. She will be also getting structure decks down the line to give her more new cards, so you guys will get a lot of content when it comes to Yamato here on the channel. Now, with that being said, I decided to go into a Fortress Kid build for the current metagame, and that's simply due to the fact that Rosinante, Tashigi are very strong in what we are going to be playing against in OP-10, which is interesting because there's a lot of removal stuff based that's happening, like Blackbeard, Rob Lucci are still running around. You have cards like Gravity Blade, Red Rock, which are prevalent in Boa and Doflamingo still in the metagame. I think Yamato has a pretty decent chance of doing something at least in OP-10. You know what I mean? Until her structure decks come out, and then we'll see what changes. Now, in my build, I decided to go Supernova heavy. I did get some comments in the Discord asking me about Supernova Yamato, you know, and might as well just dive into it. We're utilizing 4 Jewelry Bonnies and then 4 Monkey D. Luffy's here. These are both going to search out your Supernova events and Supernova characters, i.e. your Eustace Kid and your Killer. Mainly your Eustace Kid. You're looking for him, you know, let's be fair, in like 9 out of 10 matchups, this is a very strong card, especially into like things like Blue Doflamingo, which is running around in the metagame, of course. You know, he's not going to go away anytime soon, unfortunately. Now, these 2 cards also allow you to draw into your event with a very long name and your Straw Swords. This is the spice that I think a lot of people aren't ready for outside of Smoker. The Straw Sword in Yamato allows you to deal with Blackbeard. You see what I mean? Being able to not get over that 12k body initially is just, it's traumatizing. Because at the end of the day, he's going to slap down Burgess is on board. You can't deal with him unless you're attacking over them. And 9 out of 10, Yamato is going for face. So being able to have that Straw Sword in your back pocket to rest that 12k teach when your opponent is not thinking about it, it kind of throws people off game. Now, of course, we've added in 2 Raigo as well, just in case you don't see a Straw Sword and you need to remove the teach to go for face, or you need to remove a body on board such as Eustace Kid, and they don't have things like your Rosinantes or Tashigi down. Raigo helps you out in that sense as well. This also helps you out with a lot of other cards in today's format. So, being in Yamato, going down in life isn't really a problem as much as it once was when you played a more of a trigger reliant deck, but Raigo, I think it's respectively good to have at least 2 copies at most. There are going to be some other cards here that we have access to, being X-Drake, we never had before. Going into OP-10, as long as your life is less or equal to your opponent, you can play down X-Drake, activate main, rest this character, then rest one of your opponent's 4 costs or less. And just be mindful, because I have made mistakes, and you will make these mistakes as well when you're playing against things like Usopp and Purple Luffy. They give their characters a +1 cost, so sometimes it doesn't register right away. So just be mindful of that when you play down X-Drake and you try to rest their Frankie blockers or what have you. In case you guys don't understand, Frankie blocker here gets +1 when they're in those decks respectively. You know what I mean? So you cannot rest a 4 cost with something like X-Drake or your 9 Flash. So just something to consider. Now, we did decide to keep in the Onami's when it comes to our triggers. This isn't necessarily to get her off life, it's more so just to have in hand in the early game, in the middle game, late game, what have you, just to rip cards from your opponent. give him that banish effect. Basil Hawkins, we're only running 2. I am tempted to increase it just because it allows you to search out cards off your life. This necessarily doesn't do all too much when you have to hard cast it on board, but it's a body that stays on board because your opponent doesn't want to remove it. They are basically in fear of ripping a life from a life and going to trash, which is similar to the Onami banish here. This just happens for free if they decide to KO it. There are times where you can play it down and you'll feel fine, but often not. Getting this off life just to draw 2 trash 1 is really, really good, especially when you're looking for Hody Jones or your 9 flashes or a 2k counter. Smoker, on the other hand, another very good card in this deck. I would love to run more of these, but having the fact that it doesn't have counter to it, it hurts me a little bit. Like I said, if I wanted to, we can go down 1 Straw Sword to go up a Smoker, or we can go up a Basil Hawkins, or what have you. The card itself is really good in Yamato. It's like having the 5-cost Yamato, right? To be fair. It's very similar, except for some reason, G screen, there we go. It's very similar to this, except for it doesn't have double attack, right? And it does have the 1k. The upside to it is it always has the banish, right? And then it has the activate main ability. So you can restand Dawn, which is very valuable here in Yamato. Because there are situations where you play down the 8-cost kid, and then you could do the Smoker to restand the Dawn to attach it, and then you can use your leader ability for something else. That does come up occasionally, but just having another body on board, that's a 7k versus the 5 is pretty strong. But either way, we're going to dive into a bunch of games today, as we usually do. I'm going to try my best. I do hope you guys are going to enjoy this one. Let's get at it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're going to dive into a bunch of games today. Come at you guys with Yamato, playing into Shanks and OP-10. Now, as we normally do here, we are playing an aggro deck, and I have no idea how many games we're going to do today. I'm going to try to get as many as I possibly can, so I'm going to assume maybe 7, maybe 8, give or take, depending on how long these games are going to be. But let's get at it. This is one of those leaders in which you guys voted in here on the channel. We haven't done one of those polls in a long time. I kind of just been putting up content which I thought was relevant due to the metagame, which is, fair. But at the end of the day, I always want to try to play leaders that I enjoy and which you guys also enjoy playing, so there's that as well. Either way, Shanks is a very spooky leader to deal with in OP-10, OP-9. Very, very good deck, which is unfortunate just due to the fact that in this matchup he can just make me from a 7 to a 6 and him just having to throw away at least 1k counter, one 2k counter, which sucks, right? So it's a little bit harder for me to get off my double attacks, but we have a decent, I think we have a decent deck list, decent deck list into this matchup. And it kind of forces him to play in certain ways, especially when we went first. So because this way he cannot pop Smoker going on his turn because he doesn't have access to Beckman right away. That's fine. So now we have a 7k swinger who does have banish, and then he has to deal with my leader ability that has double attack, which is interesting. Sure. Well, it's not that bad. I mean, I guess we can take a couple hits here, but I have to be mindful because I do want to play Hody Jones. So perhaps we counter out of this one just to play the Hody for the following turn. Because I want to remove Yasop if possible. Because he has 5 in hand. He's been countering out of my attacks each time. So I think we're looking pretty good here. We have the Rygo for Shanks if we absolutely need it. We're at 7 Dawn. I can still restand a Dawn here to push my leader up to 5 to be able to swing. Or not 5, sorry, 6. Math's hard. I think we should attack with leader first. Just so he can get rid of the minus cost, right? We'll go into leader. He should cost reduction, not cost reduction. He should power reduction me. In hindsight, this probably was a mistake. I think I needed to attack into Yasop first. Because if he wanted to take these 2 hits, he could, and then get more cards in hand to protect that for his Yasop, so that's my bad. We'll go 8 here. Cool. And we'll go 7 lead. He's already used his reduction, so this requires a 2k counter. or a burn. And then now he has to make a choice whether or not to remove board next turn or play defensive. Nice. So we get the 2k counter from life. He's on 8 Dawn. So that Atama into a Beckman there would have been pretty good. Because he would have been able to remove Smoker at least. Well, I guess he could have got rid of Hody too, so that's fine. Either way. What do we do here? Our hand is looking pretty good because we have access to the Onami next turn. And if he decided to take the 7k swing, maybe he didn't want to give me counter or he didn't have the counter to protect it. And then that leads me to believe that we can just banish, or sorry, double attack with banish with Nami. There's a lot of things he can do. He could play down a couple blockers, or dragging it up, I guess. Going aggressive for face, sure, why not? I mean, oh, we got the kid. We got the kid, boys. Sure, buddy. I know this is risky, but I think we're fine. As much as I want to be aggressive here, he's going to kill me next turn if we don't drop the kid on board. Because he goes up to 10 Dawn, right? Which gives him access to Shanks. So that'll make the kid a 7 cost, or 7k power. So we're going to have to drop Rosinante here, no matter what. We need the blocker on board. He's a 5k leader this time, so this should be a little bit easier for us to deal with. He took the 7k swing last turn. Yep. So this will give me the 2k. Yep. Ooh, Beckman and Yasa. Boys, I think we're chilling. Let's go 5 lead. Yep. I saw that coming, I did. And then we can just go all into Dragon here. Get the rest of the cards out of hand. I don't think we'll get the Dragon. It would be nice. Because he does need 3k here, but... Okay, he had a 0 cost event. Fair. Unless he's playing some sort of like off-meta card that I don't think about. Rayleigh comes down and pops this, sure. Kid goes down drastically. But he has 2 Dawn left over for leader swing for 7k. Dragon swings in 9. Yep. 7-5. Yeah, we win. Because it just takes 1 banish with the Onami to rip the 2 life cards and go rest in face. As long as we counter out of this one, we're fine. Because we're not protecting the kid, no matter what. He's going to kill it with Dragon here. Well played. That's a pretty gross hand, to be honest. I mean, not much better. Getting the Straw Swords in this matchup is not ideal. He doesn't really run blockers here that I have to really worry about unless he's playing with Sabos or the Borsalinos. Which typically I think a lot of Moria players still utilize the Rebeccas with Sabos, if I'm mistaken. I just think I don't really have to worry about them all too much here. Getting Soldier down on board early. Let's go AK lead first, as we normally would do here. There's no reason to play Rosinante, he's just going to pop it. So then it forces him to probably counter out, right? Especially in the early game. Yep. Of course he has the Peronas. Lovely. They always have the Peronas. Yep. Go ahead, do the thing. Moria is so good at this game, isn't he? Look at that. Much wow. Sure. Do it again. It's so cool being able to do this sometimes. You're gonna learn today. Unfortunately, though, the banish kind of helps him out anyway. He gets cards back from trash, so it's kind of double-edged in this match. I think if we didn't have the Straw Swords in hand, it might have been a little bit better. Because now he swings 7k, he pops that, and he goes 7 with Perona as well. And we don't really have a choice here. I could give him my whole hand, I just don't think we need to. Next turn might be a little spooky. It might be a little spooky. I'd have to give him all of that. There's Killer. And Jewelry Bonnie. So no 2Ks, no big bodies. Not that we need it. But it's moments like this where you get off the double banish and your opponent still has 1 life, right? Then you have to figure out how do we deal with the last life. And when this happens, I've always wanted to just slap in the new Eustace Kid and just have it in the deck for moments like this, because we can't use Impact anymore or Reject. It's been banned, right? So we need another way around this. I'll go ahead and slap this down. We'll pass it over. He's just going to pop it. He does have the another Absalon in trash, but he's also at 8 Dawn here. So this could be a Moria play. I imagine so. Plays Moria down, plays Absalon, pops the Rosinante. Or not. Okay. There's that. I think we take this hit, and then he has 7k with Perona, or 7k with Absalon, then 6k after that. I think we're chilling. Is that math? 5? Okay. Sure. Now you go 8? Yep. And then he loses the game. That's cute. Oh, you know he mad. I guess we just go all for it. Because he took the AK last time, right? Both attempts he took the AK swing. I mean, might as well. Sorry, buddy. It be what it be. Did we get there? Oh, yep, he's upset. Oh well. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Come back at you guys with OP-10 playing Yamato into Marco. Diving into another game. I don't know what that Moria's problem was, you know? I did Yamato things. You know, I rested characters. Actually, we didn't rest anything that game. We just played... Yeah, no, we didn't. He's got banished twice. And I guess sometimes it'll do it to people. But, you know, he's got Peronas, he's got the Absalons, he saw the nuts that he needed to see, and you still got cooked. So, it'd be what it'd be. Either way, I'm going to dive into another game here today. Get the block off real quick, or the rest off real quick, and then we'll attack with Luffy into this and go 5 into lead. I think the extracts here are going to be pretty good, just because he does utilize a lot of cheap blockers like Doflamingo, Duval. This matchup doesn't really change all too much, opposed of when Marco first came out into Yamato. I think Yamato at that time was a lot more aggressive, and Marco still was irrelevant. Now he does have some new tools going to OP-10 and stuff. He has access to some new cards. Just, he's an off-meta deck. We are also playing an off-meta deck, so it suits us. It's fine. Sure. He's definitely going to want to remove the X-Drake this turn, which he kind of acts as a pseudo-blocker for me here, which is nice. Sure. Plays down the dragon, yep. And then next turn we just do it again. He kills this, no problem. Let's do 3. Let's drop Ezo this time. Because if we play the Ezo, we just rest the dragon. And then he will have to attack face instead of attacking into my X-Drake this turn. I think that's the better ordeal. And then perhaps we get to keep the Ezo on board for later. I think playing this would be a mistake. Yeah, let's do this instead. We'll do that. What if he counters this? No, right? Just let it go. Cool. Alright. Now we go 7 lead. And we call it a day. Now we go 6 lead and call it a day. I want him to give me the 2k here, really. That's why I decided not to go 7. Okay, never mind. He takes it anyway. Drop Luffy down. We'll take the Kid. Kid always comes when he's needed. Every time. Having double searchers here and just one on-play searcher is just really, really good. Because I think Kid in this matchup, he needs a lot of things to remove it. He needs a Rayleigh on top of his leader ability with Marco just to pop it. And that's for free, right? Which isn't that difficult to do, especially with Marco, but still. When we have Tashigi on board or Rosinante, it's very, very good. You know what? I guess we'll just pop the Zoro here. Yeah, I don't mind. We'll pop the Zoro. He'll play something else down with the Zoro ability. Of course it would be ace. He does have rush. That sucks. Unfortunate. Alright, so we'll give him the 2k for that. Goes 5. Sure. It's not worth it. Another Rygo. I guess we'll pop the Ivan. Okay. He's got 6 in hand, 2 life left. This might be risky. Actually, this is going to be risky. But we have 3k counter in hand, or sorry, 3 2ks in hand. We drop the Hody Jones. We go for the ace. We get an Onami off life. That sucks. We start off with 5 here, which isn't bad. Yep. And then we'll go 8 into ace. Just hear me out. We didn't have to do this. We're just taking it slow. We're chilling. It's fine. It's okay. Oh, we actually had counter for that. That sucks. That's my bad. That's my bad. I had to play it smart, right? So we had to go 8 into 6. That way ace can do his thing, but he had the cards in hand, so that's fine. And then we just attach the 2 to Ezo and smack the Ezo into the ace. That was the game plan. But it's okay. I see you, Marco. It's fine. He didn't have the Rayleigh here, which is nice. I just got a feeling that Hody is probably going to go here. Depending on what he does. Yep, minus 2,000 power, so he's a 6k body. He has no blockers on board here, so if he's not going for a game, he's going to lose. Especially with 5 cards in hand. Unless he can go for game and have enough, then he just loses next turn. So I got a feeling Hody's going to go here. He uses leader ability, right? Minus 2k. But if he doesn't kill Hody, oh, he's going for face. Interesting. Okay. I don't know why he decided to do that, but I guess he has to try to go for game here, otherwise he loses next turn. If only this trigger was rest anything, that would have been so good. Because then with ace he goes 10k, right? And we have the counter in hand, unless he clears Hody here. And then he has enough counter for leader swing. Or sorry, he takes a leader swing, and then he counters out of the other character that we smack him with. Or he goes 10 to face. Okay. I think we're safe. Ooh. Do I risk it? Do we risk it here? We go 3,000 power, right? We have 7 Dawn left to play with. I shouldn't have done that. I think we should have attached first, but that's my bad. We go 5 here first. Get 1 card out of hand, sure. 5 Dawn left. We can go 2 more on Yamato. Or 1 more on Yamato, because yeah. Nice. Good game? Ooh, that was close. Well played, man. You know, I really didn't want to record this one here, especially playing against Perona. Not that she's not a good deck, it's just, I feel like people don't have creativity when it comes to Perona. I feel like they just copy pasta and they just do samurai repeatedly. So, I mean, being an OP-10, she has access to a bunch of new stuff that she can utilize from 09, 010. And I just don't see it. So, I don't know what to expect, really. I'm just going to assume copy pasta builds and we'll go from there. Either way, we'll try to showcase Yamato as much as we possibly can in this matchup and in the upcoming ones. I think this one's going to be pretty easy for us, but we'll see. You better be killing butt. Okay, alright, sure. I don't know. I don't know, boys. I'm not sure. I mean, we're not going to search here, though. So, I think we can just go 5 face. I know it sounds crazy. I don't really care too much about the Rosinante or doing 2 damage here. Because I can stick down to Basil Hawkins. And being able to play Hawkins in this matchup utilizes one of 2 things. She decides to pop it, right, with resting it and playing down Ryuma. Or Hawkins is just going to be a body on board all the time. Because as soon as she kills it, she rips a life. So, she gave me the blocker. Interesting. Alright, let's do the thing. So, this is whether or not Hawkins lives here or not, it doesn't really matter. Because we rip a life, that enables our leader ability. which next turn we go up to 6 Dawn. So we don't have a lot of options in hand other than being aggressive. Okay, never mind. Sabo hits the board. That's fine. We have 9 Flash if we need to use it. Which I will, actually. Because that gives us the option to rest the Hawkins, and then she can either attack into it or leave him alone. Which he just stays as a body on board, so. Gum Gum Bell, interesting. And then Ryuma. Attach 1 Dawn, gains double attack. Cool. OP-10, I guess that's a thing. I haven't thought about it with Perona, but it's pretty, I guess that could be pretty good. Sure. You can have that. I wonder where she got off the Sabo, though. To be able to play Sabo this early with no other bodies on board for him to, like, protect is interesting. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, but still. What are we doing here? Thank you. Alright. Well, let's do the thing. Give us the boost. I'll rest this. Got 4 cards left, or sorry, 4 Dawn left. So I could potentially throw down blockers here with Killer, but there's no point, because she'll just rest them and kill it. I think we can go and play down 1 Luffy in hopes that we find a Eustace Kid. Yep. That a boy. Alright. See, we're cooking, man. This deck, it cooks. I'm trying to tell you, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I still do struggle into the obvious matchups, you know, of course, being Doflamingo. But when we see the nuts, we see the nuts, right? When we're able to get the Eustace Kid on board, we're chilling, we have a decent amount of counter in hand. It's definitely a winnable matchup. It's a lot better than previously. Being able to have the X-Drake, be able to rest characters like Boa, which is nice. The things that I do miss with this particular deck is being able to use Amaru a lot. I can still incorporate Amaru into the builds and all that sort of thing, but I have to cut out some other cards. Perhaps if I wasn't using Straw Sword, then yeah, Amaru would still be in the package, but some of the old cards I do miss, like the Kikinojos, the Amarus, so it's a little interesting not playing a trigger-heavy deck when it comes to Yamato. What just happened there? Okay, negative hollow. I didn't even notice that. I just saw a card rip out of my hand. Crazy. Negative hollow, though. I haven't used that card since I played around with King one time at locals, so a little interesting to see that. Alright, so now we're at 8. We drop the Hody Jones. We rest both of these. This will force her to protect out the Sabo, I would imagine, or give me the other Rosinante. This should be a given. If she gives me cards from hand, then that's a little bit more dangerous, especially with our leader ability, being able to double attack here. I think she should let this go. But what do I know? Fair. Okay. So she's not countering out. Yep. We either go 7 with Hawkins, or we go 10 with Hody. This will go here. If she gives me the blocker, she doesn't have the counter. Okay, sure. That tells me all I need to know. Let's go into the Sabo. I know this is crazy. Nice. Let's go 5 lead here. Cool. Go ahead. Pop Hawkins, I dare you. You won't. What could she possibly have gotten off life there to be able to pop a character? Now I think about it. Interesting. I guess Ice Age, right? Ice Age could have been a thing. What do you have in trash here? Okay. 3 Rosinantes already, and a Sabo blocker. Gum Gum Bell's interesting. So we'll get back a active Rosinante, and then... Huh? Why? Why wouldn't you want this as active? Like the Ryuma, I don't really see doing anything here, but why wouldn't you want the Rosinante as active as a blocker? perhaps at this stage in the game you just automatically assume that your opponent has another Hody Jones, maybe? But still, if I don't, you need the blocker on board, so... You also have 6 cards in hand. You know what? Let's not risk it. Because we definitely don't have to. We can take it slow and be fine. Use the kid thing. We can play down the Tashigi. Ooh, in hindsight, I guess the Tashigi wouldn't really matter here because you can just rest it. Therefore, Tashigi can't use the ability. But still, it's fine. It's okay. What do we get here? Ooh, we get the Straw Sword. We'll take Straw Sword. I don't think it's going to help out in this matchup unless she has another Sabo next turn. But we should be okay. I do want to remove the Rosinante. So I probably will waste an attack into it here. I'm pretty sure she doesn't want to be on 0 life at this turn. Because next turn she can't kill me. I mean, I guess maybe she could. If she has a removal for the kid. Because the Ryuma gets double attack. So I guess she would play something like maybe an Ice Age. What is that? Really? Interesting. Okay, sure. Wait, huh? I'm 5, right? Yeah, that says 5, but okay. Her hand has to be dead for her to do that. There's no way. But I guess. We'll go 7 phase. Maybe the Ryuma isn't worth it here. Or, sorry, the Rosinante. She had to give me that. Yeah, her hand was dead. You know, I kind of feel bad for that Perona a little bit. But, you know, I feel like every single one of those matchups, anytime I play into a Perona, it's always a mixed bag. Because I never really know what to expect. Outside the usual Samurai, you know? So it's a little interesting. Anyway, we're going to dive into another matchup today. Coming at you guys with Yamato, playing into Rebecca. In which I've been asked numerous times to do a video on Rebecca. I don't know. I might do one. It just depends. I feel like the games with Rebecca last like 10 years, and nobody wants to watch that, including myself. So, it might happen. I think you guys might get Rebecca content at locals more so than you would at like a sim video. Just because the amount of editing that I think these matches require, especially for slow control decks, is not something I like doing, you know? But each their own. Ooh, Sai, huh? I like this. I'll rest that. We'll be aggressive here. We'll go 2 into this. And then I'll attack that as well. Why not? I don't want to go face here. I don't want to give her cards for free. Especially when we have the option of Onami with Banish later. I just want to see if I can rip more cards out of hand. Nice. Cool. Or rip cards off life. My fault. Not out of hand. Cavendish. Sure. There's Frankie. Love to see it. Play Hody. We'll rest this. We'll do that. We'll be a little bit of aggressive here. She does get to play back one from trash, right? 3 costs or under. What do you have in here? I think... No, she took the Barto, didn't she? She took the Barto the hand. Okay. Yep. Now I see. That's my bad. She can have it back. It's fine. Go ahead. Oh, the Sai. Okay. I didn't think she was going to do that. That's my fault. I thought she would take the Bart. They would just kill the Bart again with the Ezo. But I guess she paid attention. Well played. Sure. We'll pop this. Why not? Moria. Okay. Gets back to Rebecca. And then we do what? Okay. Soldier's kind of irrelevant here. It's much better to have Soldier on board prior to this. That way you can start popping things. It's very inefficient here with Rebecca. So I think in this situation we just get the Soldier for free. Or she blocks. And then we just kill them both. Because we're at 9. We don't have Tashigi, which is unfortunate. But we can play down the kid, right? We do kid things. We'll just put the Dawn here. And then we can get the Rosinante. Or we can play Nami on board here and give us the banish. I think having the Rosinante is probably better, though. Just makes for a little bit more sense. Okay. One way or the other, we have to clear this. Yep. Unfortunate. We'll go 5 lead. Wait, what? She takes it? Cool. I mean, that's fine. We'll go 5 lead again. 2k counter. Love to see it. Alright. Does she have the red rock? I mean, at this point, if she has the red rock, it would be really good for this turn. I think anything longer than this turn, she's going to be in trouble here. She has to remove the kid. I mean, that's one way to do it. You know what? We don't have the counter here. And I think she'll probably attach Dawn to Moria to swing into it again. So we'll block out with Rosinante, or have him do his thing. And then next turn, or not next turn, this swing, I guess we can just dump hand. She decides to go 11. Because we do have the counter for this part. And I think it's probably valuable to keep the Straw Sword just in case she has another blocker here. Okay, Cavendish, never mind. Rygo. Definitely don't want to do that right now. 5 in hand. Give us a banish here. This will force cards from hand. I think we can go 10, can't we? I think 10 is math. Because that has enough counter, or sorry, enough Dawn left over for the Izo to swing, and for Hody and Kid. We'll get a banish off, which is pretty huge here. 5 left to go with. We'll go 9 to face here. Does she have it? Well played. She's got 2 2k counters in hand, and that's it. So that means we just go 5 with Izo, then the rest with Hody Jones. Not bad. We tried, man. That Luffy is really good, by the way. Moria. Yep. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, rapid fire. Come at you guys with another matchup with Yamato into Charlotte Pudding. This leads right off the Rebecca, which I think Pudding in general in OP-10, OP-11 is going to be pretty good. Just because, remember, I think I was the first person on YouTube talking about this with the Kid Katakuri. Being able to play the Kid Katakuri into double 8-cost Katakuris in a single turn is nuts. But in OP-11, when we have access to not only the yellow cost or yellow Katakuri, we also have access to the purple Katakuri. So I'm trying to tell you, you're going to see that a lot, whether it's at locals or just people out there winning these big events. And Pudding, it's going to be pretty good. Ooh. Viola blocker, he has a Sanji blocker on life with a 0-cost event. This might be a struggle here. But you know what? What else are we going to do? Besides go face. Go ahead. Play the Sanji, I don't care. We get a Sanji into a 0-cost. Sanji has to discard another card in hand for it to play on board here, so. And we know she has 1 Sanji blocker in hand off the Pudding. 0-cost event. I'll take it. Would you trash? Sparrow. Okay, cool. So we have 1 Sanji in hand. There's a Queen. Interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, you ramped up to, like, de-ramp yourself, which is interesting. There's the Sanji, so I should throw away another blocker in favor of a blocker on board. Yep. We can give you the Bonnie here. I don't have time to do Bonnie's ability. If we find the kid, we find the kid. If we don't, we don't. We have Luffy for that later if we need be. But right now, I think I just want to be aggressive here. Because now we can pop the 9 flash, or we can play Smoker on board. If we drop the Smoker, Smoker has another opportunity of banishing characters, or cards off life. And she doesn't have any way of removing it, I don't think. Unless she's running the new Punk, like the new Kid card, the yellow card that allows you to kill a 5-cost. Let's play Smoker down. Why not? Or we stand a Dawn. Yep. And then we can just go 7 lead. And she has to make the choice here. What do you think? She blocks with queen and gives me a 2k, or she takes a double hit? And then we have to deal with Sanji as well. Okay, never mind. Cool. Sure. Interesting. So now she's at 8. Without the queen play, she'd be at 9. She didn't see Katakuri. Five lead. I think we have to take one of these hits. There's Rosinante. There's Katakuri 2 cost. There's the big Katakuri she needed to see earlier. So now she's at 10. Which technically she threw away counter for in hand just to play that, play that on board, because she would have been at 10 Dawn next turn anyway. But she did in favor get another body here, which is still irrelevant to me, because we're gonna banish this Smoker. We're gonna banish with Smoker, get rid of the Sanji. Yep. And then we might as well just give her the double attack, right? We'll kill the Viola with Izo. And there's no point of attacking into Queen. We just go face and drop another Hody Jones if possible. I think that'd be the correct play. What are we doing here? There you go. Alright, Smoker. Thank you for doing work. Appreciate that. Go 10k lead. Put her on 0. Yes, sir. Well, we've got a nice bit of counter here. We know Big Mom's coming, right? So we'll rip a life. Yep. I think at this point, ooh, the Onami off life would have been pretty good there. Especially to pop that queen to go for face. But we have Hody, so it's okay. Or the 9 flash, I guess, but still. We'll give you the 2k. There's nothing she's going to be able to do here. We have to take at least one of these hits, I think. We could take the 7. I mean, no, we'll keep this. Just for the banish. In case that's going to be like a 0 cost event or something, like another blocker on board or whatever. Okay. Because if we decide to play like Hody Jones, if she has enough counter in hand, magically, we'll give this banish. I think this is just a safer play. This also has banish. We'll go 9 lead. One of these are hitting. Yep. We'll go 5 first, then stack everything else on Hody. Well played, Pudding. Well played. Yep. So far, so good, boys and girls. So far, so good. We've been cooking. 16. What do you do? That's a pretty good hand. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and dive into another matchup with Yamato playing into Doflamingo here. No, not Blue Dofi, but Birdcage Doflamingo, in which he's doing pretty good. I just hope that somebody out there can take this man to an event, showcase how good this deck can be, and have a good time, but we'll see. Either way, I have to play this matchup a little bit cautiously, just in case they decide to play down Birdcage and they have the nuts draw, if you will. But we'll see. We're gonna go 8k to face first. Cool. Sure. No events. Awesome. Love to see it. We do have Smoker in hand as well, so this should be a pretty good matchup if we can get Smoker on board, because that way they have to guard out or give me events for Smoker's attacks. I'll guard here. The Jewelry Bonnie is going to be a little bit too slow here in this matchup. I have the Luffy later on, if need be, to find the 8 cost kid, because Doflamingo can't deal with it unless he's playing with Ragnarok, so. Hey, you know what? Actually, we were going to go 10 to lead, but we'll just drop down this, and then we'll go ahead and go 11. This right here will force your opponent to give me an event, right? Makes him 9k, then he has to give me 3k counter on top of that. Otherwise, it puts him to 0. If I did do a 10k swing, he goes to 9 and then he gives me a 2k counter. So, there's Off-White. He got a 10 cost Doflamingo, love to see it, and a Punk Gibson. Let's go, boys. That's pretty good. So we got 2 events out of hand, and he's gained a 10 cost Dofi for that. So 6 Dawn. He didn't play anything relevant last turn. He got Giola on the board. I imagine he searches for Baby 5 here, which is okay. I don't really care. It's kind of weird to say that, especially when you're playing, you know, into decks that have searchers, when they just keep getting free cards, but we are playing Yamato, so. Discards the 10 cost Dofi to draw another card, so he drops a 2k counter in hand. Sure, there's the Luffy. We're at 7 Dawn here. Let's get down Smoker this turn. Smoker can activate a Dawn. We can go 7 with lead, and then we can play Luffy down in hopes that we find the kid. I think Rosinante is a little bit irrelevant here because nothing is rested, so this is probably the better play. Going 8 is fine, going 7 is fine here as well. If we do find the kid, I feel like Luffy never misses. 7 lead. He could rest 2 Dawn to rest Luffy, if he really wants to do that, with Giola. He's not going to take this hit to face. Yep, nope. Oh, he does do Giola's ability. That's crazy. Alright. There's no way you go to 0. Okay, so he guards out. Cool. 9 Dawn. Is he running Big Mom or not? Big Mom would be pretty good here, because he can put Smoker in my life and heal 1. That would set us back a ways, actually. 2 here. That's fine. I have no reason to counter for this. Yep. It's a pretty good ability, in a nutshell. It's just really weird to use that on Luffy there. Right, what you gonna do, Dofi? What you got? I think he needs to remove the Smoker if possible. Rosinante. What are you throwing away? Punk Gibson. Okay. That's a really good event, though. Play Sugar down, sure. So he'll gain back 2 Dawn. So he'll be at 4 Dawn again, on top of an extra 2 Dawn with Rosinante. So we'll go up to 6 Dawn at the end of this turn. I don't think this is okay. Just in case. Why on earth are you playing double sugars? Let me try to explain this, how this works. Like, even at the local scene, people do this, and it's interesting because sugar, no matter what, you don't have a choice. You have to activate the ability. If it's one of those, oops, I forgot, can I do that? No, you have to play the ability. When a character hits the board, sugar activates. There is no yes, no, maybe. It happens. You have both sugars on board, both sugars are going to target at the exact same time. So if I drop Smoker here, for instance, sugar triggers. Then the other sugar triggers. It doesn't matter if it's rested or not. It has to go. So it's a little interesting to drop double sugars down. Just in the situation here. Watch. Rested, the other sugar is also going to rest. Which seems counterproductive. You don't get to rest 2 different cards simultaneously. It is what it is. We'll attach Dawn here, do the kid thing, and then we'll go 5 into Smoker. Not Smoker, sorry, Sugar. Just to remove 1 off board. Because why not? Yep. I don't want to give him extra cards here with Leader Swing, because he'll draw the 2 from life, then get 1 from the draw. That's 3 cards there in that single turn. Whereas I can attack in with Smoker again and get 1 off to banish, and then go for game. So I think this turn he has to try to clear the kid, right? Whether or not it's Ragnarok, this would be the perfect time, because I don't have Rosinante, but he has to clear the kid before he can touch Smoker. Or Doflamingo's a thing, that's fine. Just give me my Hoodie Jones and we're chilling. Okay. Sure, why not? So now we have Rosinante. But how do we go about this? This might be a little weird, but we're going to have to play down a 2k counter. And then we'll play down Rosinante's afterwards. Because the moment we drop Rosie, Sugar will trigger, right? So we have to do Izo, or X-Drake, or Tashigi here. Tashigi's irrelevant, because it'll be rested. So we drop down Izo. It doesn't matter what we rest, I don't really care here at this point. We'll just rest the Sugar, it's fine. Yep. We'll drop double Rosie. We'll attach the Dawn. And I suppose we could have restood a Dawn with the Smoker and then played down into Shigi on top of like the Isho there. Or the Izo there, sorry. But I don't think it really matters at this point. We'll guard out here. Yep. If he wants to clear the kid, by all means go for it. We've got 4K counter in hands. Another blocker up 3 life left, so we're chilling. We do have to contend with the Sugar next turn. But he needs blockers this turn. If he doesn't put blockers down, he will lose the game. I think he knows that. At least I would hope so. 9 Dawn left, so potentially Luffy or Big Mom here as well. Eight into Kid. Interesting. Doesn't really matter which 2K we give, I don't think. At least in this matchup. At least at this point, right? Because now he's not going to be able to play Big Mom here, so. If he goes all out, he's cooked. There's Rosie. 3, 4, 5. He goes 10K into Kid. We block out with Rosinante. He'll withstand 2 Dawn. And that's it. If he goes 8K, we give him a 2K counter, right? If he goes 9K, we give him a 2K counter. So he has to go 10 if he wants to go into the Kid at all here. But then that leaves him with no Dawn active besides 2 for 1 event. Cool. No problem, buddy. And now we have to attack first before we play anything else on board. But we have to remove the Rosinante. Which we have Straw Sword to rest him. Or Raigo. Clearly a smart play is to drop Straw Sword, right? We don't need to Raigo it. We'll do that. We need to banish life first, at the very least. This will make Smoker 9K, which means he needs an event and another card to get out of this. Okay, what's happening here? Punk Gibson. No. Oh, Giola. Okay, sure. There's a Punk Gibson. Interesting. I don't know how I feel about that, but alright. And then we just split the attacks here. Because I don't think... Next turn, he wouldn't be able to kill me next turn, right? Regardless of how we do this. Unless he has Hody Jones or something else, right? For another rush unit. I think we're chilling just to be aggressive here. So he still has to go through the Kid next turn, anyway. He did have Luffy. Interesting. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and dive into another one. Come at you guys with Yamato, playing into Blackbeard. We'll probably play maybe 1 or 2 more games after this one, then we'll dive back into the deck list. So I do hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. It's been a minute since we got to feature Yamato on the channel. But with all the new stuff that we're getting in OP-10, do expect to see other iterations of this list along with Katakuri. It seems like you guys are interested in seeing some Katakuri gameplay as well. So I want to utilize the 8-cost Kid in Kata and in Yamato if I'm able to. So that's something I'm going to be showcasing soon. But without further ado, let's go and dive into this matchup here. I think I want to take the 2K counter here in X-Drake. X-Drake and Izo do the same thing. I can't take the Izo, right? It does have the on play. I think the X-Drake is very important in this matchup because it allows us to rest the Vasco shots and the Jesus Burgess. So it's pretty viable. Now we just go 7K lead. And I would think he would take the hit because this gives him extra cards to throw away for his leader ability. Yep, cool, sure. That's fine. And just so you know, I've had the most success in this matchup with Blackbeard by being super aggressive, let alone protecting life early. I like to be at a healthy state, that way when I drop down Eustace Kid or Hody Jones, it's a little bit easier to guard or take hits in certain cases. But just be mindful though, if you are behind in this matchup, your Eustace Kid doesn't do anything. by all means it does nothing because they drop down the 10 cost Teach, then he's irrelevant, right? The Hody Jones, in the other hands, as per usual, is going to be your trump card. He lets you not rip life in most case scenarios because, you know, Blackbeard likes to use his leader ability almost all the time, which is great. We're going to go 10 lead here, and he'll give me the 2k counter, imagine, or the blocker, whatever you want to call it. Because when you're able to drop a Hody on board for free without ripping life in Yamato, it's kind of disgusting. Because then you have an 8k swing and a 5k swing, which in Teach they don't utilize a lot of 2k counters, so they have to pitch other cards that they don't necessarily want to throw away, which is nice. What are you looking for here? I imagine he's trying to search for Stage or 10 cost Teach, right? So he gets himself, okay, Von Augur. There's the Searcher. Go on, draw it. I know you're going to. Get your 10 cost. There it is. Sure. Yep. 7 lead. I guess we can take it. I don't want to give him 2k counters there. Yep. Throws away Augur for that. It's no problem. Another 2k. What am I doing? Hold on. This might be cheeky, but let's drop down X-Drake and rest the blocker and force him to give me cards out of hand here. Or just take the damage. Because now we can just go 9 lead. And at this point, next turn he goes up to 8 Dawn. So, I'd imagine there's no more blockers coming down. And if there is, we have another X-Drake to do it again. What was that? What has happened? Oh, Finger Gun. That's fair. It's always Finger Gun, man. Every single time. It be what it be. Because I think in that situation, he had to attack into it with Teach. Or reduce the cost. And then pop it with Doc. So here comes Burgess on board. Yep. 7k body. Which I don't think is relevant here. Because next turn we put him on 0 no matter what, right? We just go face, put him to 0, and then he plays 10 cost Teach. And he goes 7 with Burgess, 5 with lead. And it puts me to 1 life. So we need to see a Luffy or a Jewelry Bonnie. Probably Jewelry Bonnie, right? Because he's going to activate leader abilities, so I can't play on plays. So we need to see a Jewelry Bonnie, that way we can search out for Straw Sword. This is a lot, but we have to do it. Because next turn we know we're taking some damage. We're taking 2 hits next turn. Okay. Yep, Black Hole's me again. There's a Straw Sword. Let's go. Alright, we'll play down Hody for free. We'll go 7 lead. Let me get that Shiraru. Or however you say his name. The dude with the sword. I just butchered that completely. Ignore me. You know, the 2k counter. You guys know what I'm talking about. So he did draw one of those earlier, and I don't think I've seen him use it. Okay. He's brave. So this would give me the Vasco shot. Which is nice. I'm sorry, what? I think we just won the game, boys. I think that's the W. Because he drops Teach on board. He blocks out the Hody Jones, right? He goes 8 lead and 5 lead. And I can take both of these hits and don't have to care, realistically. But we'll play it smart. We'll play it smart. Just in case he's got enough counter. You never know. This one we have to take, though. I mean, if only. Or rest the 2k. Or 2 cost block, whatever you want to call it. And I don't even think we needed the 0 cost event to get there. Because we could have just dropped the Straw Sword on the 10 cost and played the X-Drake the rest of the other character. Or actually, no, we couldn't have done that. So the Straw Sword probably was needed, realistically. Yeah, that was good. That was a pretty good Teach game, not gonna lie. We drew the Straw Sword when we needed it. We didn't see the Jewelry Bonnie outside of one time in that game, which was unfortunate, right? Because we threw her away as a counter. And I think realistically, if I was able to do it again, I'd probably have kept the Bonnie. Just because Teach decides to use his leader ability all the time. And I think in that matchup, we need to see Straw Sword to go for face a lot of the times, because he has the blockers on board, and we don't have a way of searching out Straw Sword other than Bonnie in that matchup. So, just something to take note of going forward with Yamato, especially into, Blackbeard. But anyway, I will tell you, Usopp, I'd much rather deal with Blackbeard as Yamato than play into Usopp as Yamato. This matchup it's very hard, alright? It is. It's very, very challenging, just because the amount of cards that Usopp can draw off his leader skill, off Frankie, with the Leo. He can basically cycle his hands as much as he wants. And if he's running like the Coliseum with the 1-cost Rebecca blocker, 1-cost Rebecca Searcher, the deck is nuts, man. As much as I don't like him as a character, it's a very, very good deck. And I do expect to see big things out of Usopp, so. Speaking of which, what we doing here, bud? Sure. You're gonna play down a blocker, I would assume. I think you need to see Frankie here, right? Yep. If he blocks with Frankie, he gets to do a thing, which is nice. It's just so hard to deal with this deck, man. Because now we could Straw Sword it, right? We could Straw Sword and go face. But getting Smoker down is obviously going to be the better play, because it doesn't have removal outside of things like Kyros and if he's running Red Rock or Gravity Blade. I think a lot of lists kind of differentiate between the two. They can go heavy into removal, but most of the Usopps that I run into don't utilize it, so it's interesting. They kind of use the bounce mechanic instead. 5 lead. I cannot go down to 2 this early in the game. Especially when I want to play Hody here. Double Jewelry Bonnie. The downside to this is I want to clear board, right? And Usopp's going to draw regardless. So, we're going to go... I can't use leader skill just yet, but I can restand a Dawn for later. We'll go 7 lead. See if I can rip the life. Nice. So there's a Leo. As much as I don't want to do this, we're going to have to do it. We're going to pop the Cavendish. This just gives him abilities to draw. Actually, in hindsight, that was a terrible idea. I should have went 6k first with lead, because now he draws cards. Yep. Oh well. It's fine. Keep the Frankie on board for now. Don't take the hit. Just give me the 2k, please. Nice. It would have been nice of him taking the hit, right? But he would have drawn 3 cards this turn. 2 off life, and then 1 off the draw phase. Another Frankie counter, or blocker. Such a good card, man. What is this thing? Okay, I like that. It's pretty good. Go 6 lead. I don't think he's going to attack me with Frankie here. We'll use this, we'll rest a Frankie. Yeah, we can rest a Frankie, and then we can probably go for game next turn. He only has 5 in hand here. We burn the first one, and then we go double attack with Yamato the next one. Then, I guess, finish with Hody, realistically. Oh, that's right. I forgot. That's my bad. Yeah, scream at me all you want. That's my fault. I forgot about the cost. I know it says it, but it is what it is. I guarantee you I'm going to do this at local scene as well. So is a lot of other people. Man, that's rough. Because that would have been pretty good for next turn if I kept that. Then we could rest it. Let's play Kid down. Kid can do kid things. Get the Dawn back from here. Let's do... If we Straw Sword the Frankie, we can actually get some damage in. But this allows us to play down the Onami in hand, give something else banished. So we can give this to Hody Jones or Leader here. I think Hody Jones is the better option, because Smoker already has it, right? Innately. Let's give it to Hody. One way or the other, we're ripping life here. I think he would guard out for the Yamato anyway. We'll rest this. We can just go 7 with Smoker first. Very scary, man. Because if he blocks out with Frankie, he gets the draw. 2, right? Because he gets 1 off the leader skill. and then Frankie allows him to get something else from the trash, which he could take, I guess, Leo, I imagine, and then draw from that. Okay, he banishes it. We'll take that. And I cannot attach Don to Hody here because we need the Don for the kid. Yep. This is so good, man. So there's the draw. He plays the Leo from the trash with the Frankie. We'll go here as well. Okay. Gives me the Deo. We'll attach Don here. And then I guess we'll run this into the whatever the Nami is called. Yeah, the Nami. That's a 0. So we'll clear this. We'll pass it over. So far, not bad. I felt like if we would have kept the 9 flash, we could have been a lot better here, at least for next turn. Because I think I wanted to play the kid down no matter what, because he doesn't really have an opportunity of removing this unless he has Red Rock, right? If he has Red Rock here, we're just cooked. Because we only have 5k counter in hand. He drops Red Rock, he has 4 Dawn left to play with. Opportunity of going 7 with lead and the rest on Frankie or vice versa if he wanted to. But that's very, very risky. 10k here. The Luffy I can understand. Tell you what. We'll counter the first one. And then the second one's going to be guaranteed, right? Because he's going to restand it. And then he has 2 5k swings at that point with Frankie and leader. And thankfully, we should be able to win. Unless of course, he has enough counter in hand. And then we're just cooked, right? You got it. Can we get there? I'm not going to make the mistake this time. It does say +1. I see it, boys, alright? I see it. So we'll get the draw. How do we win this here? This is super greedy if I play down the Bonnie. We need to find Straw Sword. No Straw Sword. X-Drake's irrelevant because I can't rest that. I was hoping for the sword. We did not get the sword. So we can take the kid. But I think he just wins if we take kid anyway. So I think this turn we have to go for game. I think there's no way around it. Probably should have taken the 2k counter. Oh, hold on, let me try math in here. Give me a second. So I think we go 7 first, right? And this will force either cards out of hand or the banish. I don't think he's going to give me the Frankie. So there's another Leo. He's at 1 life. Yeah, you may be arguing it might be easy to just go, 10-10 or whatever, 10-11. I get you. I think that's what we're going to do. If that's a 2k counter, you can get out of this. We could pop this and go that way. Or I can play the useless kid on board and do it the other way. This is more aggressive. But I think we can do it. There's Cavendish. Drops the Coliseum. Went from 4 to 6 cards in hands. It's just rough, but I think we're fine. Because then we can just go 8k with lead. Restand 1 Dawn. That's 9k here. He needs 5k counter. Told you guys, let me cook, man. Let me cook. Does he have the 5k? We haven't done leader skill yet. So he has 9 here, then 10k with Hody Jones. Yo, come on, man. Okay, alright. Hold up. Go 5? Yes? Good game. There's no way. Thank you. Stressful, dude. Well played, man. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the end of the video, in which today we played around with Yamato and OP-10. I do hope you guys enjoyed this one. Of course, it's always been fun to me to play around with this leader, one of my favorite leaders in the game right now. I do hope you guys enjoyed it though. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions down in the comments below about what deck list you guys are going to be running or utilizing in OP-10 as Yamato, if you guys are sticking to this leader. I do know there is a lot of content here on the channel when it comes through Yamato. This deck can be built in numerous different ways. OP-10 this opens up the door for other variants for this leader. Whether or not you guys want to go super aggro with triggers or go back into a fortress build with Kid, there's so many different ways you can go about it. With that being said, you guys will see more variants of Yamato here in OP-10. And speaking of which, I have another variant that I do want to play around with that's going to utilize 8-cost Kid if possible. I want to play with like a burn deck when it comes to Yamato, and we're talking about Kid, Robin, and of course, probably 7-cost Big Mom, if being honest. I mean, to be fair. But Basil Hawkins, of course, is another one. Now, you may be arguing, well, where's your Soul Pocus? Where's your, you know, like, what's the other card called? I already forgot already, man. Is it called Tropical Torment? Well, I think Soul Pocus in this regard. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to dive back into that, but I might. Who's to say? But realistically, I'm looking to add in a lot of the other cards here to do burn mechanics. So whether it's going to be a Big Mom Pirate or the Robin, let alone the 8-cost Kid, I think Yamato has many different flexibilities to be built around. So that is something that's going to come again here on the channel relatively soon. With this current list, I like it. I do think I want to cut out at least one Straw Sword, at least one. And I might be including to go up to one more Smoker or one more 0-cost event realistically. The Hawkins is great. Being able to slap this down on board when you draw into it is nice, right? But it does take away of like a big attack swing from your leader, just that turn, which sometimes you can sacrifice, as others it's a hit or miss. Now, being able to put this on board, this is a very, very good card. Not only in the new yellow deck with Eustace Kid, because this allows it to become a blocker, but being in Yamato, you have the option of swinging for 7k and your opponent has to deal with it. They either have to attack into it, KO it with an effect, or bottom deck it. If they bottom deck it, the effect doesn't trigger. But KOing this, or using an ability like Rob Lucci to kill this, your opponent rips a life. And in those matchups, that is heavily in your favor by getting your opponent to trash life. So this is why I'm trying to probably incorporate the 8-cost Kid into a variant, along with like Hawkins and stuff. This might be a fun idea. But currently, this is going to be my Fortress build going into OP-10 with Yamato. This is off the rip. This is a build in which I would highly recommend. I'm confident in. I think it does very, very well in today's format. But I will be diving into other ones when it comes to Yamato here. So I do hope you guys are going to enjoy your time on the channel. Let me know what was the first video you guys came across when you came across my channel. How long have you been here? Either way, this has been Pawseplays. I wish you luck at your pre-release events this weekend. I hope you pull something great. I probably won't, you know, no expectations, but either way, I will catch you guys in the very next video. Stay safe out there.